Senator from Pennsylvania.
I thank the senator from New Hampshire for yielding, and I want to congratulate him on the work that he's done. He's been here many, many days and many, many hours debating a very difficult, emotional issue. I've been in the United States Senate and the House of Representatives now for 5 years. I've never spoken on the floor of either body on the issue of abortion. Never felt in my heart that I felt comfortable coming to the floor and talking about legislating the issue of abortion. I thought, as do many folks who vote pro-life here, that the issue is one that we have to educate and we have to change hearts, and that we have to go out into the public and sensitize the public to the horrors of abortion in this country. And I say that as someone who's pro-life, but I think there are people who are pro-choice who believe also that abortion is a wrong that should be minimalized in this country. And so I've always felt uncomfortable talking about legislating abortion. I have to say that I felt compelled to come up and talk about this. This is not about pro-life or pro-choice. I mean, this is about a horrific procedure that should shock the consciousness of anyone who's heard how this procedure is. I mean, the senator from Maine just said, well, you're going to take folks and force them from one risky procedure to another risky procedure. Well, that may be true. But this risky procedure shocks the consciousness of anyone who's heard it described. This is so horrific. I mean, there is some sort of moral code in this country that to see a baby 3/4 born have 4 scissors stuck in the back of their brain. Where have we come as a country where we say, well, you know, we have a statute to prohibit that, it's too vague, or you know, all you're doing is making them do something. This is wrong. This is just not something that in the United States Senate, I don't even think we should be having a debate about. My goodness, we got people showing pictures. I always, you know, I go home and I do town meetings and I say that, you know, one of the problems I think many of us have who are pro-life, who are conservative, is that we tend to argue facts and figures. I mean, I was ready to read you that of the 2 doctors who were performed these abortions, who performed the majority of them, half of the babies who were aborted were perfectly healthy. Dr. McMahon submitted testimony to that effect. And of the flawed babies, 9 of the, quote, flawed babies had cleft palate. That's a flawed baby. That's the reason we have to have an abortion. You have Dr. Haskell saying, who's the other abortionist who does this, that 80% of the abortions that were held were purely elective abortions. So don't try to sell a bill of goods. But, you know, those are facts and figures. And I think what we have trouble sometimes is that we get up and as Republicans, we put up charts and graphs and numbers. And then people just sort of glaze over. On the other side, they're much smarter. I mean, look, there's Senator Boxer with pictures of happy faces. There are no facts and figures. There's no medical evidence to support that this is the right thing to do. This is the moral thing to do. This is what our society should stand for. No, you put up smiling pictures of happy faces. You pull at the heartstrings on the other side and hope that all the truth just gets pushed in the background. There's an obvious truth here. There's an obvious truth here. You have a baby, not a, what do they like to refer to it as, an intact something or another. That's the way they describe this, an intact abortion. I don't know what, it's in this article here. Intact procedure. This intact thing is a baby. And it's 3/4 of the way delivered through the birth canal. And it's not terminated, it's killed. Whether you're for abortions or against abortions, you can't be for doing this. It shocks the consciousness of a society and should not be a procedure that's sanctioned by this body. I yield back the balance of my time.
Senator from California.
Mr. President, I'd like to yield